Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another American Horror Story discussion video. Today we're going to be talking about episode 1 of American Horror Story Apocalypse, entitled The End. And really, the first thing I'm going to say here is, at this point, I don't know any of these characters' names. The one thing that American Horror Story does is, for someone who like me who watches it, not to really review it, just to discuss it on this channel, this platform, because I like the series and I want to have theories and conversations about where it's going and what's good and what's bad about it. These shows introduce so many characters and so much stuff so quickly because it's an anthology series. They need to get all the world building out very quickly that it's hard to really know anything that's going on from one episode to another, or at least remember names of characters that they only say once or twice or anything else like that. The thing I believe, just first off, I think everyone who watched the episode might understand where they're going with this. Maybe you don't, but tell me what you think about my theory, is obviously, we got the nuclear explosion. All of the remaining survivors are in this outpost. They're eating, they're rationing as much as they can. And there's definitely, rich people versus people who are genetically superior and are trying to be protected by whatever government entity that is still around. But we have this mysterious person coming at the very end of the episode saying, this outpost is dead. All the other outposts are dead. We're moving people as best we can. We have one place that has enough rations for 10 years, and you're going to come with us. That has to be, considering everything we know about this show, that has to be Murder House, doesn't it? That has to be one of the reasons we're going there. We're going to bring back some of the people and ghosts that from the first season, and one of the other outposts brought in all of the Coven witches from Coven, and that's how we're going to connect all of these stories. I don't know where they're going from there. I don't know whether or not they're going to bring in the child who's genetically superior or something, and he's the Antichrist or whatever is going on, but that has to be the one thing we're moving towards in this show. And then we're going to do what every American Horror Story season does. We're going to go back and forth and actually show how all of this happened. And then because we're underground or we're in these outposts where there's very little places to actually go and maneuver around with everybody, we're going to see how they got here and how they're actually surviving in these areas. We're going to see people having sex and fornicating and all this other stuff, and that's going to get them in trouble. That's going to throw everything out the window. There's going to be backlash, and there's going to be witches kind of playing around with everything, ghost haunting. Look, I don't even know. It's going to be a really interesting season, and I think one of the reasons a lot of people are excited about this season is because they're bringing back all these characters that we knew and loved from the original 2 or 3 seasons that, at least as far as I'm concerned as a fan of this show, were the best. The first season, second season, the best. Third season, probably the last big arc or last big story that I thought was really genuine quality and I was excited for every single week. And then after that, Freak Show, Hotel, Roanoke was kind of cool. Like, creatively, it was cool to have a split in between the episode or the season and actually change the style and format, but it wasn't really that great. And then Cult, while it was politically relevant at the time, it wasn't as scary. There was something very tame about that season that wasn't the same that we've come to expect from all American Horror Story. So yeah, this is really an exciting time to be a fan of this show, and I can't wait to see how they interact with all these different characters and how they're going to deal with a lot of characters playing different people. I mean, obviously, we've known that they're just not going to say anything about it. They're not going to show us anything about it, and no one's going to notice that, hey, Evan Peters is playing like 3 different people if they have all 3 of his characters from all 3 seasons in this show, or that Sarah Paulson's going to be playing multiple different people. But it's still pretty interesting to me that they're going to be doing this, and I think that that's where they're moving. They're going to move to Murder House. The ghosts are there, and then the witches are going to show up. So what are your thoughts on this episode, guys? Like I said, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Yes, they got into the shelter. Yes, they're running out of food and rations, and they're trying to survive day to day. But at the same time, these are just people who are cooped up inside for months on end, years on end, and they just don't feel like they're going to go a little crazy, and they're going to be messed with people who are actually running this place. Obviously, the whole Stu is Stu line from this episode was probably one of the big standouts and one of the funnier lines, and it gave us a little idea of who Sarah Paulson's character is in this entire show. Like, is she really caring for these people? Does she care too much about the hierarchy, or are they going to run it the way they want to? And that mentality is going to butt up against the ghosts in Murder House and also the witches from Coven, who are definitely who are going to want to, I guess, run the house. But obviously, one of the things they made very clear in the first season of American Horror Story is the ghosts aren't going to let anyone stay in the house because it's super dangerous, right? So they're going to be trying to get people out, but it's the apocalypse, so they really can't go out. That's a unique idea. That's interesting because they promised that they were going to try their best to keep people from dying because the ghosts there are going to start killing people and maiming people, and these are the last people on Earth, really, and they can't leave or else they're going to face nuclear winter. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Do y'all like the show? Do you not like the show anymore? Are you going to watch it because of the crossover, or are you just a diehard fan that watches every single season? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.